topic, chemical kinetics, one of the important chapter in physical chemistry. And then you can expect some numerical from chemical kinetics. Now, first term is about rate of a reaction or velocity of a reaction. The change in molar concentration of reactants, any of the reactants or products with respect to unit time. So representation of rate of a reaction plus or minus dC by dt, where dC is change in molar concentration of any of the reactants or products divided by dt, change in time. So what unit of rate of a reaction? Unit of rate of a reaction. Change in molar concentration, mole per dm cube. Change in time, second, or you can take minutes. So unit of rate of a reaction is mole per dm cube per second. Mole per dm cube per second. So representation of rate for a given reaction using all the constituents. For example, if you consider A plus 2B, that gives 3C plus 4D. Rate of the reaction, change in molar concentration of reactant. So negative sign that indicates the concentration of reactant decreases, disappearance of reactant, minus 1 by 2. Change in molar concentration of B, plus this indicates formation of product, appearance of product. So during the formation of product, molar concentration of product increases. Okay. Therefore, plus 1 by 3 dC by dt with respect to one more term D plus 1 by 4. Change in molar concentration of D with respect to change in time. Now, second example, Br minus, BrO3 minus, H plus. All these are in aqueous medium. Aqueous medium. It gives 3Br2 and H2O. H2O is liquid. H2O is liquid. So representation of rate of a reaction. The rate is equals to minus 1 by 5. Change in molar concentration of bromide ion with respect to change in time. Minus change in molar concentration of BrO3 minus ion with respect to unit time. We'll go for the product, or if you consider H plus ion minus 1 by 6, change in molar concentration of H plus ion with respect to product, plus 1 by 3 change in molar concentration of bromine with respect to change in time, plus 1 by 3 change in molar concentration of water with respect to change in time. If rate with respect to any one of the constant is given, you can go for rate, you can calculate rate of other constants. So one more example we'll take about the synthesis of ammonia. Synthesis of ammonia. N2 plus 3H2, that gives 2NH3. So representation of rate using reactants. Nitrogen and another reactant, hydrogen, 1 by 3, change in molar concentration of hydrogen with respect to change in time plus 1 by 2 change in molar concentration of ammonia with respect to change in time. If rate with respect to ammonia is mentioned, we can calculate rate with respect to hydrogen by comparing these two. Or if rate with respect to hydrogen is given, to calculate rate with respect to nitrogen, we can compare these two. So this is about the expression of rate. Next, about law of mass action. At constant temperature, rate of a reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactant. Law of mass action. Consider the reactant A gives product. Rate is proportional to active mass of A. Active mass is nothing but molar concentration, mole per liter. Or rate is equals to. Second example, A plus B that gives product. Rate is proportional to product of active masses of reactant A and B. A and B. Then this expression is called as rate law or rate expression. So K is called as rate constant. Rate constant. Definition of rate constant. Rate of reaction where molar concentration of reactant is unity. That's called as rate constant. And significance of rate constant. It depends only on temperature. It does not depend on the molar concentration of the reactant. Higher the value of K, faster is the reaction. Higher the value of K, faster is the reaction. So these are the significance of rate constant. The next term is about order of a reaction. Order of a reaction. So order of reaction is experimental concept. So it is defined as the sum of the powers of molar concentration of reactants as represented by experimentally determined rate law or experimentally determined rate equation. That's called order of reaction. And order of reaction may be 0, whole number or fraction. So example, in this reaction, X moles of A, Y moles of B, that gives C moles of C and D moles of D. So according to law of mass action, rate is proportional to molar concentration of the reactant. The reactant is A and B. So this is called a rate law. Sum of the powers of molar concentration of the reactant as represented by rate law. That's called order of a reaction. Therefore here order of a reaction is equal to X plus Y. Order of this reaction is equal to X plus Y. So one more term called molecularity. So molecularity is a theoretical concept. This indicates the number of atoms, ions or molecules involved in a actual step of a reaction, elementary reaction. That's called molecularity. Since it is a theoretical concept, it's always whole number. So example for molecularity, we'll take some example. Decomposition of ammonium nitrite that gives nitrogen and water. Since it involves only one reactant, molecularity of this reaction is 1. Another reaction H2 plus I2 that gives 2HI, the reversible reaction 2HI. It involves 2 reactants. Therefore, molecularity of the reaction is 2, and is also called as bimolecular reaction. Say if you consider NO, nitric oxide, conversion of nitric oxide to nitrogen dioxide, where 2 moles of nitric oxide is taken, that reacts with oxygen, to give 2NO2. 2NO plus O2, that gives 2NO2. Since there are 3 moles of the reactants, it's called as trimolecular, thermolecular reaction. So molecularity more than 3, it is very rare, because according to collision theory, before the formation of product, the reactant molecule should collide with each other. As the number of moles of reactant increases, number of collision that decreases. So this is about the term molecularity. Then different types of reaction based on order. First about first order reaction. Here order of the reaction is 1. So example for first order reaction. Decomposition of ammonium nitrite that gives nitrogen and water. Second example, dissociation of PCl5 that gives PCl3 and Cl2. Dissociation of hydrogen peroxide H2O2 that gives H2O plus O2. Dissociation of nitrogen pentoxide 2N2O5 that gives NO2 plus O2. Or acid hydrolysis of methyl acetate. That gives methyl alcohol and acetic acid. One more reaction we can take, that's about inversion of cane sugar. C12 H22O11. On hydrolysis in acidic medium that gives glucose C6H12O6 and fructose C6H12O6. So all these are examples for first order reaction, where order of the reaction is 1, rate of the reaction is directly proportional to first power of molar concentration of reactant. So these 2 are examples for pseudo first order reaction. These 2 are examples for the complex reaction. Here rate law, I will write rate law. According to experimentally determined rate equation, the rate law is this. Therefore, order of the reaction is 1. In complex reactions, rate of the reaction that depends on the slow step. Since in the slow step there is only 1 mole of H2O2, therefore order of the reaction is 1. So this is about first order reaction. Next one about second order reaction, where order is 2. Second order reaction. Order of the reaction is 2. So example for second order reaction, H2 plus I2 that gives 2HI. The rate law for this reaction with respect to hydrogen first order, with respect to iodine first order, overall order of the reaction is equal to 2. Or alkaline hydrolysis of ester ethyl acetate. When reacts with sodium hydroxide, that gives acetic acid and ethanol. Acetic acid and ethanol is an example for second order reaction. Next about third order reaction. Third order reaction. Where order of the reaction is 3. Order of the reaction is 3. So example for third order reaction. The reaction between ferric chloride and stannous chloride is an example for redox reaction. Ferric chloride and stannous chloride. It gives ferrous chloride, FeCl2, ferrous chloride, and stannic chloride. The rate law for this reaction with respect to ferric chloride, second order, with respect to stannous chloride, first order. Therefore, order of the reaction is equal to 3. Similarly, one more example for third order reaction. Reaction between nitric oxide and oxygen, that gives nitrogen dioxide. 2NO plus O2, that gives 2NO2. So rate of the reaction is expressed in this form. Therefore, order of the reaction is 2 plus 1, that is equals to 3. So one more type of reaction is called as zero order reaction. Here, rate of the reaction is independent of molar concentration of reactants. Some of the example for zero order reaction: formation of HCl. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight and moisture, that gives HCl. So this reaction depends on sunlight and moisture. Therefore, the rate law is given like this. It is independent of molar concentration of reactant. Therefore, it is called zero order reaction. Similarly, one more example. Dissociation of hydrogen iodide in presence of gold at high temperature, that gives hydrogen and iodine. Then decomposition of ammonia in presence of molybdenum, that gives nitrogen and hydrogen. These are examples for zero order reaction. Next about fractional order reaction. Here, order of the reaction is fraction. Fractional order reaction. Some of the examples for fractional order reaction: formation of hydrogen bromide, H2 plus Br2, that gives 2HBr. The rate law is found to be first order with respect to hydrogen and half with respect to bromine. Therefore, overall order of the reaction is 3 by 2 is equals to 3 by 2. Second one, formation of carbonyl chloride. CO plus Cl2, that gives CoCl2. The rate law with respect to carbon monoxide is 2. Order with respect to carbon monoxide is 2. Order with respect to chlorine is half. Therefore, here order is equal to 2.5. Order is equals to 2.5. Or we can go for decomposition of carbonyl chloride. Rate is proportional to. Therefore, here order of reaction is 3 by 2, 1.5. One more, decomposition of ethanol, acetaldehyde, CH3CHO. Ethanol undergo decomposition to give methane, liberating carbon monoxide. So rate law, CH3CHO, this is 3 by 2. Order of the reaction is 3 by 2. So these are examples for fractional order reaction, and all these reaction examples for a particular reaction like fractional order reaction you should know. Next about pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. So what about pseudo first order reaction? Order of the reaction is 1, but molecularity is 2 or more. That kind of reaction is called as pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. Order is 1, but molecularity is 2 or more. Example is acid hydrolysis of methyl acetate. Acid hydrolysis of methyl acetate. Reaction is catalyzed by acid. It gives CH3COOH and methanol, CH3OH. Since water is taken in the large excess, rate of the reaction is independent of molar concentration of water, where the strength of water practically remains constant. That means it is not involved in the reaction. Therefore, rate of the reaction depends only on molar concentration of methyl acetate. Therefore, the rate law is given like this. Rate law. CH3COO, CH3 raised to the power 1, and with respect to water it is 0. Therefore, here it looks like 2, but order of the reaction how much? Order of the reaction is 1. Similarly, second reaction is inversion of cane sugar, C12H22O11 on hydrolysis, that gives glucose and fructose. Glucose and fructose. The rate law with respect to sucrose, it is 1, with respect to water is 0. So these are examples for pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. So in complex reaction is one which takes place more than one step. Elementary reaction is one which takes place in a single step. So in complex reactions like dissociation of hydrogen peroxide, complex reaction. See, in the first step, hydrogen peroxide that dissociate to give water and nascent oxygen. Dissociation that takes time, therefore this step is slow step. So after the formation of nascent oxygen, the reactive that gives O2, this is fast step. The rate law is given based on slow step. So rate is proportional to hydrogen peroxide. So what about the order of the reaction? It's 1. Now we'll go for balancing the overall reaction. Since there are 2 oxygen, this equation is multiplied by 2. This nascent oxygen cancel. So overall reaction is 2H2O that gives 2H2O that gives 2H2O and O2. So in complex reaction, the rate is determined by slow step. That's called as rate determination step. Therefore, order of the reaction is equal to, similarly in the case of nitrogen pentoxide, that involves 2 steps, where slow step involves only 1 mole of N2O5, hence is an example for first order reaction. So next about the rate constant expression. From this part you can expect some numericals. So rate constant for 0 order reaction. zero order reaction. K is equals to R naught minus R divided by T. If the reaction is in gaseous phase, K is equals to P naught minus P divided by T. So this is for zero order reaction, So K is equals to R naught minus R divided by T. So time taken to complete zero order reaction. Time taken to complete zero order reaction. So this can be calculated from this expression. K is equals to 1 by T R naught, or T is equals to 100% time required for completion, R naught divided by K. If the reaction is in gaseous form, then T, it is equals to P naught divided by K. So these expressions suitable for zero order reaction. And one more, the time taken to complete 3/4 of the reaction, that is equals to 1.5 times the time required for 50%. So here 3/4 means 75%. It is equals to 1.5 T half, 1.5 T half. So all these are about zero order reaction. Next we will move on to first order reaction. Rate constant expression for first order reaction. See, in first order reaction, rate constant K, it is equals to 2.303 by T log of R naught by R. Or you can represent like this, K is equals to 2.303 by T log of A by A minus X. Here A is initial concentration, X is concentration with respect to time. So one more expression for this in terms of if two different time is given, So K is equals to 2.303 divided by T2 minus T1 into log of R naught divided by R, log of R naught by R. And one more expression, if the reaction in solution form and two different volumes are given, initial volume or volume with respect to time and infinite time. Here we can represent K is equals to 2.303 by T log of V infinity minus V0, V infinity minus Vt. So these are the different forms of expression of rate constant for a first order reaction. For gas phase reaction, the rate constant expression K is equals to 2.303 by T log of P naught divided by 2 P naught minus Pt, pressure with respect to time. So these are the different forms of expression for rate constant, first order reaction. Similarly, we'll go for second order reaction. Second order reaction. Here A is considered the initial concentration. X is concentration with respect to time. So K is equals to 1 by T into X divided by A into A minus X. This expression is for second order reaction. In general, to predict the rate constant of a different reaction, we can go for like this. For nth order of a reaction, nth order, Kn, it is equals to 1 by n minus 1 into T. 1 by n minus 1 into T into 1 by A minus X to the power n minus 1 minus 1 by A to the power n minus 1, Or we can represent like this also in terms of R0 and R. A is initial concentration, that is R0. Look here. Kn, it is equals to 1 by 1 minus 1 T into 1 by R to the power n minus 1 minus 1 by R0 to the power n minus 1. R0 to the power n minus 1. So these are the expression for rate constant, So next one about the half-life period. Then we'll go for the unit of rate constant. Half-life time or half-life period. The time taken by the reactant to reduce half of its initial value, that's called as half-life period. So TR for zero order reaction. For zero order reaction, expression for rate constant, that is equals to K equals to R0 minus R by T, or T equals R0 minus R by K. R is R0 by 2. Therefore, we can represent half-life for zero order reaction. TF is equals to R0 by 2K. Or if the reaction is carried out in the gas phase, P is equals to P0 divided by 2K. This is for zero order reaction. Next one is for first order reaction. TF, it is equals to 0.693 divided by K. K is the rate constant, 0.693 divided by K. This is expression for first order reaction. Next, we will go for relations between half-life and the order of the reaction. And order. See, in general, PF is proportional to 1 by R0 to the power n minus 1, where n is order of the reaction. For zero order reaction, n is 0. TF is proportional to R0. That means for zero order reaction, half-life period is directly proportional to initial concentration. For first order reaction, here there is no concentration term. It is independent of molar concentration. Similarly, for second order reaction, n is equals to 2. TF is proportional to, that means inversely proportional to initial concentration, inversely proportional to initial concentration. So this is, if you know the general expression, you can relate the relation between half-life and order of the reaction. To predict the reaction, it is very useful. Next, we will move on to unit of rate constant. Unit of rate constant. There are two methods. One is differential method. In differential method, dx by dt is equals to K into molar concentration of, this is for nth order. For a first order reaction, n is taken as 1. N value is 1. For first order reaction, n is 1. This one is mole per dm cube. dt second. K into molar concentration, mole per dm cube. So mole per dm cube cancels. So K is equal to unit of K, rate constant is per second. Same if you go for zero order reaction, n is equal to 0. dx by dt, it is equals to K into r to the power 0, this is 1. dx is mole per dm cube, dt second. So K is equals to mole per dm cube per second. That means unit of rate constant of a zero order reaction and unit of rate of the reaction is same. That's mole per dm cube per second. This is about the differential method. There is one more method. See, in general, the rate constant K, it is equals to mole per dm cube to the power 1 minus n per second. For zero order reaction, n is equal to 0. K is equals to mole per dm cube per second. For a first order reaction, n value is equals to 1 mole per dm cube. So this is equals to per second. We can go for second order reaction, n is equals to 2. K is equals to mole per dm cube. Okay. N minus 2 per second. That means per mole per dm cube per second. This is about unit of rate constant. Now, about the conditions to take conditions for a reactions. First order reaction, second order reaction and third order reaction. For a first order reaction, A gives product. Second order reaction, 2A, that gives product. Or A plus B gives product. Third order reaction in 3 ways. 3A that gives product, or 2A plus B that gives product, or A plus B plus C that gives product. Now, next about determination of order of a reaction. So there are different methods. In this first method is Ostwald's isolation method. Oswald's isolation method. In Oswald's isolation method, it is similar to the principle involved in pseudo first order reaction. So consider the reaction N1A, N2 B, N3 C gives product. Means with respect to order is N1, B N2, C N3. Three reactants A, B and C. If reaction is carried out using excess of B and C, the rate law for the reaction is A to the power N1. With respect to B and C, it is 0. So here, with respect to A, what is the order of the reaction? N1. If reaction is carried out using excess of A and C, rate is proportional to B to the power N2. So what is the order of the reaction? N2. Third condition, if reaction is carried out using excess of A and B, rate is proportional to. So what is the order of the reaction? N3. So overall order of the reaction is N1 plus N2 plus N3. So this is about Oswald's isolation method. The next method is called as graphical method. This involves two steps. In the first step, rate of the reaction is determined. Once you know the rate of the reaction by plotting the graph rate versus molar concentration, we can predict the order of the reaction. This method is called as graphical method. Step number one. Rate is determined, rate law or rate of the reaction determined. Step number 2. Once you know the rate of the reaction, graph is plotted, rate versus concentration, molar concentration. So when you plot the graph rate versus molar concentration, if it gives straight line, that indicates order of the reaction is equal to value of n. Just look here. Rate of the reaction. Molar concentration to the power n. First one will go for first order reaction. N is equals to 1. Very important part, just observe this, rate. Yeah. That means mole per dm cube. It gives straight line passing through the origin. If it gives a straight line, then value of n is equal to order of the reaction. So value of n is 1, therefore order of the reaction. If there is no straight line, then you have to go for second order reaction. N is equals to rate versus R to the power 2 or mole per dm cube power 2. If this is the second order reaction, here we will get the straight line. Even here also no straight line, then go for third order reaction. By taking value of n is equals to 3, Rate of the reaction, mole per dm cube, raised to power 3. Here, if you will not get the straight line in the first order, second order no straight line. If it is third order, here you will get the straight line. Even for these three values, n equals to 1, n equals 2, n equals 3, if there is no straight line, then there is one more option. You have to test for zero order reaction. For zero order reaction, n value is equal to 0. Here, rate of the reaction is independent of molar concentration of reactant. That means it will straight line parallel to x-axis, straight line parallel to x-axis, straight line parallel to x-axis. So this method is called as graphical method. While determining the order, the first you get for a value of n equals to 1, straight line. That means over. Your experiment is over. Order of the reaction is equals to 1. There is one more method. That method is called as half-life method. It's called as half-life method. Using half-life of the reaction. So in half-life method, determination of order with respect to half-life method. T of is proportional to a to the power n minus 1. Here A is taken as the initial concentration. Look here. A1 and A2 are different initial concentration. A1 and A2 are different initial concentration. So this is taken as A2 to the power n minus 1, A1 to the power n minus 1. Then you have to substitute the value of n. Or here we can write T of. This is A2 by A1 to the power n minus 1. By taking log, you can substitute the value of n. N is nothing but order of the reaction. I'll write the final step. How the n is expressed in this method. N is equals to 1 plus log of T of 1 minus log of T of divided by log A2 minus log A1. So this method is called as half-life method. So these are the different methods where you can determine the order of the reaction. About the half-life and some of the relationship with respect to first order. Whenever any problem is asked based on half-life, remember this method. In the first half-life, 100 becomes 50. This is first half-life. For the second one, 50 is the initial concentration. It is reduces to 25. Till here, 75% of the reaction is over. 75%. And it crosses how many half-life? 2 half-life. 1, 2. Next one, half of this is 12.5. Total completion is 87.5. Time required for 87.5. That is 3 half-lives. One more. 6.125. Now here, the time required for 93.625. This is 4 half-life. Now just look here. If the reaction is started with 100 gram, half-life is 10 minutes. After 40 minutes, how much is remaining? After 40 minutes, 10 minutes, 40 minutes. The remaining is how much? 6.125. Or after 30 minutes, how much is remaining? Means 3 half-life process. So that is 12.5. Remaining amount is 12.5. Like this you can work out. Or there is one more formula where you have to calculate the n value first. N value. Total time divided by half-life. That gives n value. Then quantity remaining after n half-lives. Quantity remaining after n half-lives. This is half power n into initial quantity. Using this formula, you can calculate the quantity remaining after n half-life. Or if you follow this method, it is the simplest method. Some of the relationship for first order only. First order. T 75%, that is equals to 2 into T 50%, T 87.5%, 3 into T 50%, then T 93.625%, that is 4 half-lives. Or one more, T 99.9%, 10 half-life. T 19%, that is 2 into T 10%. T 99%, that is equals to 2 into T 90%. So these are applicable for only first order reaction. Next about temperature coefficient. So what is called temperature coefficient? It is a ratio of two rate constants calculated at two different temperatures differ by 10 degrees Celsius. KT plus 10 divided by KT, approximately 2 or 3. This is called temperature coefficient. So according to this, every 10 degree increase in temperature, rate of the reaction doubles or triples. So increasing rate can be calculated. Increasing rate of a reaction. It is equals to mu to the power n. Mu is temperature coefficient. N can be calculated. Final temperature minus initial temperature divided by 10. This 10. How many times temperature increases? So this is about temperature coefficient. The next part is about collision theory. So according to collision theory, in any chemical reaction, the collision takes place between the reactant molecules. An effective collision that leads to give the product. Without collision, there is no formation of product. Collision theory. Some of the terms. First about threshold energy. ET. It is the minimum amount of energy possessed by the reactant to form products upon collision. Let's call that threshold energy. One more, energy of activation. EA. Is the minimum amount of excess energy possessed by the reactant to form product upon collision. Or energy of activation can be calculated using threshold energy and energy of the normal reactant molecules. So this is about the term threshold energy and activation energy. Just observe this plot, energy versus progress of the reaction. Energy versus progress. Of the reaction. For exothermic reaction, for exothermic reaction. Exothermic. In exothermic reaction, energy of product is less than the energy of reactant. According to collision theory, when reactant molecules collide with each other, it reaches a new state called activated state. This is activated state. To reach this state, whatever energy is required, that's called as threshold energy. This is called energy of activation. This energy is called threshold energy. Now, the difference between the energy of reactant and energy of product, from that we can calculate delta E. For endothermic reaction, energy of reactant is less than the energy of product. Next, about Arrhenius equation. So according to Arrhenius equation, the rate constant K is equals to A into e to the power minus EA by RT. Minus EA by RT. Arrhenius equation. K is equals to A into e to the power minus EA by RT. Here K is a rate constant, A is a Arrhenius constant or frequency factor, E is Napier's base, EA is energy of activation, R is a gas constant and T is temperature. You can write in other form, log K is equals to log A minus EA by 2.303 RT. Rate constant depends on temperature. There are only two variables. One is K and the T. When temperature changes, rate constant changes. So at two different temperature, same expression we can write like this: log K2 by K1. It is equals to EA by 2.303 R into T2 minus T1 divided by T1 into T2, where T1 and T2 are the initial and final temperature. When energy of activation is 0, EA is 0. This part is 0. To remove the log, you have to take the antilog. Antilog of 0 is 1. Therefore, K2 is equals to K1. K2 is equals to K1. Now, so energy of activation can be determined by graphical method. In graphical method, log K, there are two variables. One is log K and the temperature. When you plot the graph log K versus 1 by T, log K versus 1 by T, it gives a negative slope, straight line. Slope of the graph, it is equals to minus EA by 2.303 R. So by knowing the slope, we can calculate energy of activation. Intercept that shows log A. Okay. So from the graphical representation also, we can determine the energy of activation. So this set of equations, this set of formulas are very important for the numericals in chemical kinetics using this or this, and here this temperature. So what about the temperature dependence of energy of activation? What happens? So as the value of EA increases, K value decreases. When this value increases, K value decreases, and reaction rate also decreases. So when energy of activation, this value increases, K value decreases, as well as the reaction rate also decreases. Last, about the collision frequency, or based on the collision theory only. So collision frequency is nothing but the number of collision taking place per unit volume of the reaction mixture. That's called as collision frequency. Now here, the reactants are considered as solid spheres, or there are two molecules A plus B undergo collision, that is product. ZAB. That indicates, ZAB indicates the collision frequency. Rate of the reaction is directly proportional to collision frequency as well as orientation factor. Now, first, about the rate using collision frequency. Rate is equals to ZAB e to the power minus EA by RT. In orientation factor, if the solid reactants are represented in a proper way, then there is collision and that leads to the product. Just look here. If the reactants are represented like the direction, is there any collision? No collision. When there is no collision, no product is formed. There is no proper orientation. Now about the proper orientation, if the reactant molecules are arranged like this, this is proper orientation, and that leads to give product. So rate of the reaction is also directly proportional to orientation factor P. Therefore, by combining these two, orientation factor as well as collision frequency, rate of the reaction is equals to P into ZAB e to the power minus EA by RT. So this is according to collision theory, where rate of the reaction that depends on the collision frequency as well as the orientation factor. Next, about the effect of catalyst, or about the energy profile diagram. When positive catalyst is used in the reaction, rate of reaction increases. And how rate of reaction increases? By decreasing, it provides an alternate path by decreasing energy of activation. Energy versus progress of the reaction. For exothermic reaction without catalyst, product, reactant, threshold energy to reach this state, that's called energy of activation. Just observe this. For exothermic reaction, in the backward reaction, it becomes energy of activation. Here, energy of activation for backward reaction is more than the energy of activation of forward reaction. And if reaction is carried out in presence of positive catalyst, it provides an alternate path. By decreasing energy of activation. So, in presence of positive catalyst, energy of activation decreases, rate of the reaction increases. And this difference that gives enthalpy or changing energy, delta E, or we can calculate delta H. And this diagram is also called as energy profile diagram. So this is about reaction kinetics or chemical kinetics.